Imagine a world without electric light, without movies, without recorded music, a world where darkness ruled the nights and ideas did not yet have the energy to spread. Now imagine a boy who was expelled from school at age 12 for being considered slow. This same boy would grow up to become one of the most influential inventors of all time, Thomas Alva Edison. In this video, we will delve deep into the life, controversies, and inventions of this genius of innovation from his birth to his death. Get ready to discover the secrets behind the electric light bulb, phonography, cinema, and also the shadows behind the light. Because behind Edison's brilliance, there is a story full of battles, rivalries, and genius that you have never seen before. Thomas Alva Edison was born on February 11, 1847, in the city of Milan in the state of Ohio in the United States. He was the seventh and last child of Samuel Edison, Jr., a political activist and laborer, and Nancy Edison, a teacher and highly educated woman who played a key role in his education. At the age of 7, his family moved to Port Huron, Michigan, where Thomas would spend most of his youth. From an early age, Edison showed great curiosity about the world, constantly asking questions and taking objects apart to understand how they worked. But at school, his restless behavior and hearing difficulties, which would later leave him virtually deaf, caused his teachers to consider him a problem student. He was expelled from school, and his mother decided to homeschool him. Nancy gave him access to science books and encouraged his experiments. Edison said that she was the one who truly believed in his potential when no one else did. At the age of 12, he began working as a newsboy, selling candy and newspapers on trains. But he was no ordinary boy. He soon set up a small laboratory in a freight car and began conducting chemical experiments during his travels. One day, he caused a small fire and was thrown off the trains. But that didn't stop him. He continued his studies on his own and became deeply interested in telegraphs, one of the most modern technologies of the time. He learned telegraphy and worked at several stations, honing his skills with electricity. It was during this period that his inventive mind began to take shape. From then on, Edison would no longer be a simple operator. He wanted to change the world with his own ideas. At the age of 22, Edison moved to New York, where he achieved his first great success, the automatic telegraph repeater, which allowed messages to be recorded and retransmitted without human intervention. He soon sold this and other patents and raised enough money to found his first large laboratory in Menlo Park, New Jersey in 1876. It was the first industrial research center in the world. There, Edison created an environment where ideas quickly turned into products. He didn't work alone. He led a team of inventors and engineers, what we would call a startup today. But even with collaborators, Edison was involved in everything. He designed, tested, corrected, and above all, he never gave up. His most famous quote reflects this mindset: "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration." It was in Menlo Park that he would create his most famous invention, the incandescent light bulb. Although he wasn't the first to create a light bulb, Edison was the first to make it practical, durable, and affordable for home use. In 1879, after thousands of attempts and tests with different filaments, he finally managed to produce a bulb that lasted for hours on end. The world would never be the same again. The success of the light bulb not only brought him fame, but also paved the way for a new era of electricity. Edison created the Edison Electric Light Company, which would later give rise to the giant General Electric. In 1877, even before he had finished the light bulb, Edison surprised the world with an even more impressive invention, the phonograph, a device capable of recording and reproducing sounds. It was the first time in history that the human voice could be recorded. Edison tested the machine with the nursery rhyme, "Mary Had a Little Lamb," and when he heard the recording being played back, even he was amazed. The phonograph was called Edison's magic machine by the press of the time. It was the beginning of the recording industry, which would later evolve into records, radios, and eventually digital music. The phonograph's impact was immense. It was used in schools, for broadcasting political speeches, for medical records, and even in music boxes. Edison envisioned a future in which people could listen to books, record messages, and preserve the voices of loved ones. Once again, he was far ahead of his time. And unlike the light bulb, which was perfected by many, the phonograph was Edison's completely original creation. He had literally given humanity a voice. But Edison didn't stop there. In the following decades, he launched yet another revolution, cinema. In partnership with William Kennedy Laurie Dixon, Edison developed the kinetoscope, a machine capable of showing moving images. Although rudimentary, it was one of the first steps towards what we know today as films. In 1893, Edison opened the Black Maria, the first film studio in history. The first short films were filmed there, such as dancers, boxers, and scenes from everyday life. Despite Edison's technical contributions, there are many controversies. He fought legal battles against other inventors and studios, claiming rights to several film patents. Many consider Edison to have tried to monopolize the film industry in the United States. This led to conflicts with names such as the Lumiere brothers and, later, with the pioneers of Hollywood. Still, his role as a catalyst for moving images is undeniable. Edison didn't just help create the light bulb that lit the world, he also created the screens that would make you dream. One of the most intense chapters in Edison's life was the so-called War of the Currents, fought between him and Nikola Tesla, with the support of George Westinghouse. Edison advocated the use of direct current, DC, as the standard for electricity, while Tesla and Westinghouse promoted alternating current, AC, which was more efficient and safer for long distances. Edison began an aggressive campaign against AC, claiming that it was dangerous, going so far as to hold public demonstrations by electrocuting animals to prove his point. He even indirectly participated in the creation of the electric chair to associate alternating current with death. But the public and engineers began to realize that Tesla's technology was superior. The definitive victory came in 1893, when alternating current was chosen to power the Chicago World's Fair and later the Niagara Dam. Edison lost the war, but his reputation survived. Even with dubious methods, his dedication to innovation has kept his name in history. The dispute with Tesla is still the subject of films, books, and debates today, a symbol of how genius can exist on both sides of the same chain. During his lifetime, Edison registered 1,193 patents, an impressive number that includes inventions in the areas of electricity, communication, energy, sound, image, and even cement. He founded more than 14 companies, including what would later become General Electric, one of the largest corporations in the world. Edison had a mass production mentality and was always looking for ways to transform inventions into commercial products. His motto was clear: don't invent something unless you can sell it. Other notable inventions include the alkaline battery, which boosted the use of electric vehicles in the early 20th century, the quadruplex telegraph, which allowed 4 messages to be transmitted simultaneously, and improvements in mining, telephony, and energy storage systems. His West Orange laboratory, built after Menlo Park, grew even larger, with hundreds of employees and dozens of departments. Edison worked obsessively, sleeping only a few hours a night, always involved in multiple projects at once. In the last years of his life, Edison remained active, despite his age and failing health. He received honors, awards, and worldwide recognition for his contributions. He became a personal friend of Henry Ford, who considered him his hero. Ford even rebuilt the Menlo Park Laboratory into his own private museum. Edison participated in public exhibitions, such as the inauguration of electric lighting for cities and factories, and continued to experiment with new materials. Thomas Edison died on October 18, 1931, at the age of 84, at his home in West Orange, New Jersey. His funeral was accompanied by a symbolic tribute. In several American cities, the electric lights were turned off for a minute in his memory, a poetic gesture to the man who lit the world. His death marked the end of an era, but his legacy lives on in virtually everything we use today: light, sound, images, communication. Thomas Edison was more than an inventor. He was a creator of possibilities, someone who turned ideas into reality with persistence, courage, and vision. His name is etched in history as a synonym for innovation, but also as a reminder of the cost of staying ahead of the times. He didn't just create the light bulb, he created the modern model of innovation, where science and business go hand in hand. And while he has been criticized for his conduct in disputes, no one can deny that he shaped the 20th century with his inventions. Edison believed that failure was just a step toward success. "I haven't failed," he would say. "I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This mindset made him a giant, not just in the lab, but in the way the world has come to view technology. To this day, when an idea is born, when a problem is solved, when a light bulb is turned on, Edison's spirit is present. Because as long as there is creativity, persistence, and the courage to change the world, the spark of Thomas Edison will live on.
If this story has already captivated you so far, just imagine what's yet to come. So don't waste any more time. Subscribe to the channel now, activate the bell so you don't miss the next episodes, and leave a like. This will really help this content reach more people who, like you, are passionate about history. And take the opportunity to comment below. What other character or historical moment would you like to see here? Your suggestion could become the channel's next video, so you can be part of this journey.